it has been, it feels like forever, but of course, we're here to stay. We just had to take a little vacation for the holiday season, Lana and I, but we are back, Matt and Lana, episode 26 of the podcast.
Yes.
So we are back, and it's been a couple weeks, and there has been some ups and some downs in the Blerd nerd world, and we have to just...
We need to just go. We're going to go in
hard
on this episode, just FYI, because there's so much to talk about. There's just so much to say.
People's feelings will be hurt.
Probably.
If they take it personally, but I mean, whatever. I don't really care. It's our podcast. I don't care. Anyway, so we are going to start and finish with a very personal subject. As everyone knows, today is Sunday. Was it Thursday, Lana, or Wednesday?
It was Thursday.
Thursday, Nelson Mandela passed. He left this earth. He was 95. And just in the transcending just black, but in the African community and the world, really, he has done so much for this world, and the world has suffered a terrible loss. I mean, there was another loss as well, but when it comes to the impact that Mandela had on this earth, he did so much for this world. But I know, Lana, you wanted to touch on it. I know you said you saw him in person.
Yes. So for my my blast from the past this week, I'm just going to talk about when Mandela did his tour.
Oh, yeah.
He was released from prison February of 1990.
He was in prison for 27 years?
27 years.
Yeah.
And he could get one visitor per year for 30 minutes. He was able to receive one letter every 6 months. He was in isolation. He had a bucket in his room. And that was his life for 27 years for protesting against apartheid.
Right.
And so basically, when he was released, he came to Los Angeles Coliseum, and he was there. He was there with Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, a lot of other noted black political figures, and other people too. There was just a lot of speakers, a lot of people there. And my parents took me and my sister. Mm-hmm. And at first, I remember, being a bit older, I had always known what an apartheid was.
Right.
I knew about South Africa. I knew who Nelson Mandela was. And I was excited. I was excited to go. I was excited to go see him in person. And I mean, because, like I've said before, we were exposed to a lot of different figures. We went to go see Farrakhan a couple of times. Right. Just a lot of different people. And so, but going to see him was something entirely different. I don't know. You can Google how big the Los Angeles Coliseum is if you've never seen it. It was packed. Mm-hmm. And we were sitting there and we were listening to speaker after speaker. And I just felt such a sense of pride, for my culture and for what this man had accomplished, and just such a sense of purpose. And then when he came up on the stage, I mean, it was deafening. The crowd was roaring, and we were all just so happy. And I remember him speaking, and it was something that I will never forget. The impact that it had on my life. And it's funny, he's not an imposing man. He's not super tall. He's a real life superhero.
Right, he is.
He's a real life. That's what a superhero looks like. Okay, real life. Mm-hmm. He's not flying through the air. He's not shooting people with laser beams, but he changed the world.
But his impact is flying across the world, and
exactly.
I know he's in. Of course, we haven't been in school for a while, but I mean, I know of hearing of him or reading about him in history books, and my African American cultures and history courses in high school. He was a really, really big topic, and there was actually a course at Purdue that was dedicated to Nelson Mandela as well.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. So I can't think of the name. The building we have. I'm drawing a blank, but the building we have, which is literally the center of Purdue University's campus, it's the African American Culture Society. I think I'm saying it wrong, but it's a really gorgeous building, and we have a course that you can take in there, or we did at least. I don't know if now, but dedicated to African American history. And the main topic was Nelson Mandela because of his impact. But it goes to show you that impact transcends race. Because it's always, I guess, I'm gonna go there for a second, but it's like,
Just do it. Do it.
in the Black community, it's always the negative first, and
It
the
is.
positive is second. I feel like some other races tend to look at us and see nervousness before nice, and we are so much more than that. And Nelson Mandela is a object of that. I mean, he is the guiding light of that. And I was truly saddened. I thought it was a joke when I think I saw it via Twitter, like when I woke up in the morning. I know I check Twitter as soon as I wake up, which is sad. But
Yeah.
I mean, no, actually, what Twitter does now is they send you notifications like such and such and such and such. Like they'll list all your followers that have retweeted a certain follower.
Yeah.
And I was like, it said like the nerd element, such and such, and then like 9 other people retweeted this person. And so I opened my phone and it said, Nelson Mandela, R.I.P. And I was like, what? Are you serious? So it was really something that was heavy on my heart that day. And obviously to this day. The cool thing is that here in Indianapolis, we had a memorial service for Nelson Mandela.
Oh, awesome.
And I'm sure there was one out in the LA area. I'm sure they were all across the world and the country. But I did not see that coming. I didn't know that we would do that here. And I didn't know about it until after the fact. It actually just happened right before this podcast was recorded. And I just heard about it. So shout out to Indianapolis for...
I know. That's cool.
I think that's really great. I think it's just really awesome. I'm just reading about it, and there was thousands in attendance. There were a couple like high-level speakers there as well. But anyway, I'm sorry I didn't interrupt your story. But
No, you're fine. That's a lot of good stuff. And a couple of things that people don't know because we like to educate as well as, entertaining for sure. But I'm wondering how many people knew that our government had Mandela on the terrorist watch list until 2008.
You're right.
And also the African National Congress, which was Mandela's political party, they were considered a terrorist group. And so, as sad as we are, the United States didn't jump on board with Mandela and his causes until way, way later.
Yeah.
In 86, Reagan condemned the group. They were really in struggle against apartheid. The white minority was controlling the black majority through violence, terrorism, and stuff like that. Yet Mandela's group was the one they're the terrorists. So just a little, the information is all over the internet and stuff. You want to know a little bit more about the U.S. and our relations with South Africa and what really happened. It's really interesting reading. I suggest to you.
And I would honestly say
you might be surprised.
To follow with that, like, don't believe everything you hear in your history books. I mean, not here, but read in your history books. It very much is one-sided. I'll leave it at that. But I'm sure anyone that has half a brain, I'm sure all of our listeners are very educated, and they know. So shout out to Nelson Mandela. I mean, just an excellent man. 95 years old. But the thing really quick that I find really interesting, obviously he was 95. He looked really great for his age. But I feel like you can live that long if you just don't have any stress. And I feel like he truly was a man of just unobtainable peace.
Well, he had to be. For him to come out, people talk about forgiveness, and his capacity to forgive is something that I can only ever hope to attain in my life, because I don't know how he did it. It's one thing to forgive, and I strive. I'm not one to hold grudges or anything, but nothing in my life will ever compare to what he had to go through. And for him to come out, and especially when he was elected president, and he had his jailers up in the front row, and they had to acknowledge what they had done. There was going to be no punishment. There was going to be no nothing. to anybody involved in the apartheid. And I just, it's like I said, his capacity to forgive is just, it's amazing to me.
And I tell you
That, I
one,
mean, it's wow.
and I tell you one thing, I couldn't even last 27 minutes in jail or prison.
Right.
The day, which heaven forbid, I don't participate in illegal actions, but the day that I am convicted of something, Lana, you will find my note.
I know.
You will find my note. Like
You won't even make it there. We'll already have a plan. You'll be out of the country,
I'll be
please.
out of the. You will scandal me. Ooh, ooh. Sorry, I just did a little teaser scandal. Ooh. Okay,
Right.
so shout out to Nelson Mandela. I mean, he really is our blurred of the week, our blurred of the year, our blurred of the generation.
I know, basically.
Basically, I don't know how much of a nerd he was, but he has impacted the entire African American Black culture.
You know what? I'm going to say that he is. I know that he went to law school, graduated from law school.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that anybody who's passionate about something who push against the norms of their society,
Right.
that's exactly what he did. He just did it using politics.
Right.
And
You're right. You're absolutely right. So, okay. Well, let's continue with some blurred outedness.
uh-huh.
So I guess, well, really quick, I do want to acknowledge someone else that passed.
Yeah, we have to.
Not necessarily a blurred, but definitely very popular in just the movie and film culture, and that is Paul Walker. He passed away a week ago.
About a yeah,
Yeah, it was a few days before Nelson Mandela, and he passed away in a serious, very serious car crash.
pretty tragic.
Yeah, and he was leaving a charity event. He was driving a Porsche, or not him, but his best friend
Yeah.
slash business partner
Uh-huh.
was driving the Porsche and ended up crashing. I'm sure everyone knows what happened, but it was a very sad time. I mean, this is during the filming of Fast and Furious 7.
Mhm.
I did see video, sad, but I refused to watch it. Not someone, but there was surveillance video of the crash itself that I don't want to watch because I did see the car, and the car was just
Yeah.
in pieces. And whoever that those two, I'd have to go there. Whoever those
Just do
two
it.
young punks were that stole pieces of the wreckage and
Seriously.
posted it on Instagram, you're an
Right.
idiot. One of them got caught immediately.
Yeah.
The other one is, I think he's been caught. This is a couple days ago. But his
I know.
Instagram says this: took a picture or stole a piece of the wreckage from Paul Walker's car. Um, LOL, LOL, whatever.
Uh,
Why would you? Why would you steal it? What is wrong with social media? This is just the idiotness of.
oh my
I don't
gosh.
want to
I
harp
know.
on this, but it's just I have to bring it up
You
because
have to get it
you are
out.
so dumb to do that.
Dumb.
Okay. Anyway, so um,
Mhm.
but anyway, Tyrese was at the scene and he broke down, and Vin Diesel was there and he, talked to the crowd, just thanked them for
Mhm.
their, their love and taking out the time to visit and leave flowers and stuff and
Yeah.
candlelight vigil.
Um one thing though, one thing, I know I was reading that Vin Diesel went to Paul Walker's mother's
Oh,
house.
did he?
As soon as he heard what happened, like he literally got on a plane and flew out here. Um, to try to comfort the family, but he said, he was quoted as saying that they really were strength for him
Mm-hmm.
because, I guess they were really good friends. They have done like what, 6 movies together.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot of years and a lot of time of knowing somebody. And in reading after he passed away, which still seems kind of surreal, but I kind of read a little bit about him and what he was doing. He's got a charity called Reach Out Worldwide,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really interesting. His charity um, gathers together people and sends out what they call strike teams to go help victims of natural disaster in the U.S. and abroad.
Right.
And I know they went to Haiti, and I had never even heard. I didn't know that he was doing all this, but they went to Haiti, helped out there, and from everything I've read, he was really hands on, like as far as not just sending teams out, but actually in country, doing manual labor type stuff. So, just that's it's just interesting to get a little, more insight into the type of person that he was.
I know I saw that. I read about his charity and what his charity's doing, and I thought it was really cool. But was that the same charity that he was at?
Yeah, it was a toy fundraiser, and
Mm-hmm.
they were going to send the toys. I believe they were going to send the toys to the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what the fundraiser was for.
And also, I don't know how many people know this, but this accident happened like 100 yards, like a few hundred yards away.
Yeah,
It happened like
yeah,
immediately, like as soon as he left.
yeah.
So it just shows you that life is too short, and you just have
You
to.
just never
You just
know.
never know. So really, no matter what you're going through, just really, really cherish the fact that you're still here. So,
Hmm.
okay, let's spin it around. Let's spin it around. We just had to get that out. We did.
We had to. Yeah.
So on to some. I mean, stuff has happened. I mean, we took a week off, and it's like I feel like the world knows that Matt and Lana have taken a week off. So it's like, oh, let's do everything in
Let's
these.
make everything happen right now.
Right. So one thing I do want to talk about really quick is the new Spider-Man trailer.
Yes, and I haven't watched it, but I haven't heard great things.
Well, I must say this is the busiest trailer I have ever seen. Even busier than the new 300 trailer.
Oh
And
wow.
I'm like, okay. So obviously we all know that Jamie Foxx was cast as some people were saying via Twitter, Blue Raspberry Electro.
Hmm.
And that's been the trailer, that little sneak trailer, teaser trailer was at Comic-Con. I mean, I'm really happy for Jamie Foxx. I think it's really cool. I really do like
A lot of
Electro.
people aren't.
Oh yeah, a lot of people aren't because I think, and I mean you may agree that it's primarily because of race, and
Yeah.
I think race is the foundation. Also the aesthetics, because for me, I did grow up watching Spider Man. I did read comics as a kid for Spider Man, and I don't know. I think Electro was white, but he was also, I think, before more than that, because he always had a costume on. He wasn't blue.
Right.
So I mean, like that was the one thing that stuck out to me was maybe coming from a blurred perspective, but and I know we're going to talk about this, and we might as well jump into it. But race bending, we've talked about this before, and it's coming back up again
Hmm.
with the rumors of why can't I think of his name from Superman?
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington playing Lex Luthor to Jamie Foxx playing Electro. I mean, these are predominantly white characters in the comics, and now they're being played by critically acclaimed, Academy Award winning, and nominated actors. And it's
But that doesn't
but that doesn't
matter
matter.
because it doesn't
But
matter.
but before I get into that, I just want to just really quick, Lana, if you haven't seen the Spider-Man trailer, but you're really not missing anything. It's just really busy because although I still am excited to see this movie, I do like Andrew Garfield as the new Spider-Man. A lot of people
Hmm.
don't, but it's just you have Harry Osborn, who is just emo. You have
Right. Right.
You have Rhino, and you have Electro, and it's just a lot. There's just too many. I feel like this movie's trying to do a lot. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I feel like the trailer wise, it's trying to do a lot for a second movie. I don't know what they're trying to prove. I feel like the proving part came in the first Amazing Spider-Man. Why are
Hmm.
you trying to do too much? Because again, have you not learned from Spider-Man 3, which by the way I fell asleep in twice? Um,
That was such a pile of,
Garbage.
anyways.
You just
Yeah.
did too. You're doing too much.
Smelly, heaping garbage.
So, I mean, anyone out there that's interested in the film, I still want to see it, but I feel like the trailer was just a lot going on,
Hmm.
and I really want them to give the property back to Marvel.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Hmm.
Um,
And
hmm?
yeah. No, go ahead.
No, and
Yeah.
so that's how I feel. That was just my little harp. And then side note. Oh well, wait. Let's stay on this because a good friend of ours posted a uh, post posted a post an article about race bending basically, and
Uh-huh.
primarily like the Denzel Washington possibly playing Lex Luthor, and he was not happy about it.
No.
And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are not happy about it. We talked about this last 2 weeks ago with Rue from Hunger Games.
Yeah, because it keeps coming up.
It keeps coming up. I mean, I think this kind of started with at least to my knowledge, it came to me first with Airbender. with M. Night
Yeah.
Shyamalan, and then Hunger Games, and then Jamie Foxx and Spider-Man, and now this is just a rumor.
Don't forget Lawrence Fishburne with Perry Reeves. People were all pissy
Yes,
about that.
and it's like, so it's just all this. Who?
And Samuel L. Jackson, even though
Oh,
there was a version of Black Nick Fury, people were all pissy because they chose the black one. So,
even though, and we talked about this too. Oh gosh, even though there is a comic of the was it General Nick Fury, Colonel Nick
how
Fury, and General Nick Fury, and how the comic there was Marvel went to Denzel Washington, Samuel L. Jackson years over 10 years ago, did this alternate universe and asked Samuel L. Jackson if they could do a Nick Fury in his image.
yeah,
This is Marvel
yeah,
asking him. And then when they do the movie and they base it off of this Nick Fury, people get, just get pissed. I don't if the he did an excellent job.
I know, but it's too dark,
Too
darker than a paper bag.
Stop it, not too dark.
Well, he was,
Well,
and that's why people were mad.
so how would you feel if
Hmm.
if the new Superman, because we're gonna talk about Superman and what just
Right.
happened too, but
Ugh.
but
Right.
focusing on this particular instance, how would you feel if Lex Luthor was or played by either Denzel Washington or someone who is not white?
Um, Lex Luthor, I could care less, honestly. I think it would be a little odd probably to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't agree with necessarily changing the ethnicity of like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. I think that's a bit much. I think that would be a little contrived. But Lex Luthor, I mean, like I was telling you, they should only be so lucky to get two-time Academy Award winner Denzel Washington, who's pulling $20 million per film, to slum it in a supporting role as Lex Luthor. If he did it, I would be like, cool, it's Denzel. But I personally, I was kind of thinking Bryan Cranston, which I think I had said before. That was another rumor.
That's what I want to
Um,
happen. I want Bryan Cranston to do
that's
it.
Yeah, and it's just because seeing Denzel's past work and stuff, I think he could do it absolutely. But coming fresh off of Breaking Bad, I think Bryan Cranston would be kind of a good choice. And but would I boycott the movie? No. Do I care that much? No, I don't. And like I said, it's Lex Luthor. The movie isn't called Lex Luthor.
Right.
Okay, he would be in a supporting role and he'd be playing a villain, which is irritating to me in the first place because yay, Denzel Washington, he'll be critically acclaimed as a villain,
Mm-hmm.
whereas all the movies where he played protagonist,
Did we talk about this a couple weeks ago?
I'm sure we did,
Because I
but
can talk about it
it
again.
keeps coming back up. It keeps coming back up.
You're right. I don't
And
mean that in a bad way. I'm just like, I just love how
yeah,
this. It's like a cycle of like,
yeah,
we're as we do this podcast, we notice trends, and
yeah,
I'm noticing like these trends in media and movies and film and all that. And a lot of them are racial trends.
yeah. And
Um,
it's like, we don't, and I hate, and also the generalizations that I read as if black people are picketing outside of Marvel Studios demanding, that we have, these characters and stuff. That's not happening. The casting agents are black. We're not, doing any of that. I want to see a movie about Storm. I want to see a movie about Black Panther, and changing Black Panther into somebody who's white. No, it's not the same thing because his backstory is African.
right.
So no, it's
Side
not the same.
side note, what kind of iPhone do you have?
4.
Okay, good. This
But
is this is something different. I just needed to know. Okay.
so, like I said, years ago I had heard some rumor about Beyonce wanting to play Wonder Woman. No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't think the ethnicity of Superman needs to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Batman needs to be changed because, like I said, it would be contrived. Um, I don't think that needs to happen. But when it comes to supporting roles, I don't care.
I I also think that the reason this is happening, even if whether this is a rumor, because a lot of this stuff is rumors anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
let's say he did get cast, or another black actor or non-white actor got cast as Lex Luthor. I think this is Marvel's way of because what sells now? Controversy,
Yeah, they need to keep themselves relevant,
right?
and DC needs to stay relevant because as far as Marvel goes, they're whipping DC all up and down the street.
Right, and it's just like
So
I feel
they need
like
to keep themselves in the news.
right, and I feel like Marvel is doing pretty well about keeping themselves in the news. Um, and okay, so for me, really quick before we squash the subject of Lex Luthor, I personally don't care either. I think it's cool to change it up. He doesn't, even though the comics say he's, or not comics say, I mean, he is white in the comics, Smallville, whatever. Um, who says you can't make a movie about a black, oh, well, with a supporting role as a black Lex Luthor? Who says you can't?
It's just a supporting
Right.
role.
And it's your movie. People will go see the movie because they want to see Denzel. People will go see the movie and don't even care for Marvel. They just want to see a Denzel Washington movie.
How about you just added a bunch of extra ticket sales for people who wouldn't have gone to go see it but are going to go see it because of Denzel?
Right, exactly. So Marvel is, if this is true, Marvel is doing it. They know what they're doing. Now, while we're on the Marvel subject, well, we're on DC, but
Yeah.
first, before we go to Marvel, let's stick to the each separate universe. I know they don't like each other. Um,
You know,
so last week,
goodness.
oh Lord, I think I'm just gonna be quiet after I announce this. So okay, so actress, and I hope I say her name right, Gal Gadot.
Let's call her Gail.
Gail, let's say Gail. Gal Gadot was cast as Wonder Woman officially,
Mm-hmm.
and I instantly, I tagged you in a Facebook post immediately. I was
You
like,
tagged me. There was no comment. There was just my name. That
and
was it.
I was like, I am happy that Wonder, because I know, Lana, you love you some Wonder Woman, and because of you loving Wonder Woman, I love Wonder Woman, and I was like, I don't know if she'll be happy because I don't really know much about this actress. I know she was in Fast and Furious, and she's a model, which is fine. Well, actually, it's not, but okay. And but I think you know what I mean by that, and I think
Yeah.
once I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna sit down and let you
Okay.
speak. But she was cast in a lot of of course, Twitter. Anytime someone gets cast in a movie, I just go to Twitter,
Right. That's all you have to
and
do.
I just want to read a couple tweets.
Oh, please do that.
Um, a lot of the tweets were actually not necessarily in support, but just kind of concerned. Like a lot of tweets were saying that they hope Wonder Woman will get her own film instead of having to be a backup support for Superman and Batman.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were concerned that this was a backdoor for and DC's cheap way of creating a Justice League movie.
Uh-huh.
A lot of photos are going around of Gal in a photo shoot as Wonder Woman. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think you can use that against her. I mean, it was a couple years ago. She didn't know she was doing this movie. It was a photo shoot for Wonder Woman. She looks like a model. She doesn't look like Wonder Woman.
Right.
Um, and some people said that this move just shows that they have absolutely no faith in a female lead superhero movie.
Uh-huh.
So they're just going to backdoor her again through a strong male hero movie. So,
Yeah.
Lana, I'm gonna let you. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. How do you feel?
All right. So I where do I even start? When I first saw her, okay, in my I'm sorry because I'm all over the place on this. Number one, I'm glad they got somebody who is at least Israeli
Mm-hmm.
because she's Middle Eastern. She can pull off the look because Wonder Woman is Greek, and I was scared to death that we were gonna have just a random, you know.
A
So,
random white chick.
well, not even that because I don't want to say it like that, but somebody who didn't look ethnic and who because um, Wonder Woman, like I said, she's Greek. I wanted somebody who looked Greek. Like, I want somebody who fits the ethnicity. And her backstory and her ethnicity is it's the driving force and like who she is and what her beliefs are and everything like that. And I think to strip something like that away would be kind of whack.
Well,
So, I mean, so they get this chick who is Israeli, and that's cool. She's got military training, mandatory 2 years military for all Israeli citizens. And so she's got that behind her. So she knows how to do the physicality and stuff. That's fine. Um, I'm wondering what kind of conditioning they're gonna make her do.
I was okay.
Because Wonder Woman is not a small girl. She's athletic, and so I'm kind of wondering. And remember when Linda Hamilton did Terminator,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people were talking about her physique because she gained a lot of muscle and she kind of, she made herself a bit bigger and stuff like that for the role. So I think it can be done. It's But gosh, filming is coming up so quickly. At first I was kind of mad, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this girl a chance. I'm not as irritated as I was about Batfleck.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
I'm not as irritated. I'm willing because I think she has the look.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to give her a chance. And she might be able to pull it off. My issue, though, is that we don't have a Wonder Woman movie.
And I think that's what the big drop. Well, there's two things. One, I'm gonna challenge you about her conditioning.
Okay.
Shut up. Because I'm gonna take you back. Because Linda Carter.
Okay. Okay.
Linda Carter was, to me, and probably will always be, the perfect Wonder Woman. I never watched that show in from start to finish, but I did see episodes. I have watched, I think, probably like a dozen episodes or so. But everything about her was great, and I feel like when it came to her attitude, her look, her confidence, that's what sold her as Wonder Woman. And she wasn't a, I would say, quote unquote, thick woman. Even though when you look,
she wasn't skinny though.
she wasn't skinny. That's true, and she was
good size.
She was naturally sized. I don't want to say average.
Yeah.
She was just naturally sized.
Yeah.
She was not overly fit. She was not overly bulky. Because when I look at Wonder Woman in comics and even in video games, how they render her, she is not abs and model size. So I mean, not to say I challenge you, but I do. Well, I challenge you and I side with you because it's like, I wonder with filming coming up right around the corner. One, I feel like they are going to put her through something really quickly, and also I feel like this is just a desperation move because I feel like people have been complaining so hard. I feel like people were complaining before, and with the NBC Wonder Woman that just crashed and burned, the CW Amazon show, Wonder Woman show that's been on the shelf for over a year now, due to quote unquote being too expensive. I don't understand that.
Other bull crap they came up
Right,
with.
but all of a sudden you have an Arrow show, you have Smallville, you have Flash, which y'all just literally cast the person 2 weeks ago, whatever. So you have all this going on. I feel like and then you all of a sudden have the Superman remake. You have Batman and Superman, and it's like, where is Wonder Woman? So I feel like there needs to be a Wonder Woman movie. But one tweet, I'm trying to find the tweet, but it did say, basically to sum up, it was like, when it comes to a female superhero movie, you have one chance and one chance only.
I think that's pretty accurate because the way the studios are, if it doesn't do well, then I mean they're scared to death to do this movie. Let's just keep it real. They're scared to death to do the movie. They're scared it's gonna flop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if what they're doing, and this is what they could be doing, they could be introducing her in this movie and then giving her own movie after the Superman Batman movie. Because and I'm wondering how prominent is her role going to be? I mean, if they're announcing her and not keeping it a surprise, I'm assuming that she's going to have a role in the movie and not just a stinger at the end. I mean, or else what's the point? Keep that a
Can I be
surprise.
real with you?
Tell
And
me.
I'm very optimistic, Lana. You know
I'm
this.
trying. Mm-hmm.
But I truly think she is going to be backdoored into the last 30 to 45 minutes.
See, and I kind of believe you, and I'm trying to not. I'm trying to be optimistic, but I kind of think you're right.
Because I feel like the script has already been written, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like with such demand and criticism on DC about the lack of Wonder Woman, that they were like, okay, let's just throw her in there because we want to shut everyone up. We want to shut Lana up. So
Right.
let's give
Right.
them what they want. Now, the cool thing would be, I'm not upset if they do last 30, 45 minutes. For some reason, the villain, they can't, whoever the villains are in this
Uh-huh.
movie, that they have to have another superhero to help them. Thus, they bring in Wonder Woman. They find her, whatever. That this backdoors into a independent film. But do you think? I mean, I know we'll go see it, but do you think
Yeah.
a Wonder Woman movie will do well without a male lead co-star hero?
I think if, and here's the thing, the movie would have to be dang near perfect. They'd have to cast the perfect person, and it would have to be extraordinarily strong script, and I don't think they have that. And I think that's a big part of the problem. They don't have the story, they don't know which story to tell, and they don't know what to do. Because the thing is, Wonder Woman, yes, she's got her own comic, she's had her own book, she's had her own movies, but a lot of people aren't familiar with her on her own and aren't familiar with her backstory. They are familiar with her as part of the Trinity, being Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and as part of the Justice League. That's why I'm thinking it is a possibility that they're going to introduce her. This is going to be a movie kind of introducing the Trinity as the top dogs of the Justice League. And then we're going to be, and then once she's given a backstory, if they do her character right, if she has the proper character development in this movie, they could do a spin-off Wonder Woman movie and have it be relatively successful.
With her origin.
But she's gonna have, yes, with her origin, she's gonna have to bring it. Like I could totally see a scene at the end of the Superman Batman movie where like Hippolyta comes from the sky in like a chariot and says, you know, I need you to come, blah blah blah. You know, there can be something to where it leads off into a Wonder Woman movie, but I don't know if I trust them to be able to do
I
that.
mean, because like you have Catwoman, even though it was Halle
Yeah,
Berry, and I do love Halle
yeah.
Berry, but let's just be real.
Let's be real. Yeah, we know.
As a female, I think they cast someone big like Halle Berry because I thought that would drive the box office.
Yeah.
And it didn't. I mean, I think the movie made money, but it didn't make the money that, well, I'm going to take out Avengers because Avengers really is an outlier. Like, that's what every movie, action movie, like superhero comic movie is aspiring to be.
Basically.
But that is an outlier. Take that out of the equation. But any movie, I mean, even Superman Returns, I mean, made money. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, I feel like DC is looking at this and they're like, okay, Catwoman did awful, and we had a Academy Award winning woman.
And it got slammed by the critics.
Destroyed.
It got slammed by the
So
critics.
I think what's going to happen is that if I was the writer or whatever, and I just decided 2 days before the movie came out that I'm gonna put Wonder Woman in the movie,
Uh-huh.
that I would probably backdoor her in safely, with no origin. Obviously, they need her for some reason, so they pull her out. Maybe she's introduced between Superman, or Man of Steel, and Batman versus Superman, or Batman and Superman, whatever. And bring her in with no origin, and then that is where the back door is to lead to a true independent film. And I think that would work, but I don't know. I feel like, well, these let me read these tweets. This is from DC Woman Kicking Ass on Twitter. That's their handle.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
Oh, are
They're
you really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what their tweet said. first tweet, was this the first tweet? Yeah, the first tweet is, I mean, you get Oscar nominees for Selena and Lois, and we get someone with this resume as Wonder Woman. The next tweet is, there is only one shot at Wonder Woman having a movie. One. She said she didn't write it right, but it took 75 years to get here, and if this doesn't work, it's over. Which I just mentioned. You have one shot. And then she has two more tweets. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, they don't work, question mark. They recast and they try again. This won't happen with Wonder Woman. It won't. And that is completely true.
That's true.
And then
they won't try again.
Right, and their last tweet was, okay, there you go. And beyond the Fast and the Furious parts, what do you have to go on? Tell me, how do you evaluate this actress?
And from what I read from the casting director and creators and all those folks, basically when they were talking to her about the role, she said, supposedly, I don't just want to be an actress, I want to be an action star. She wants to do action movies. And I think that's what kind of sold them on allowing her to do this role.
So is it kind of like a Mila Jovovich for Resident Evil? Because she was an actress. She was a model.
Yeah.
And then she turned, what I'm thinking. And that's her franchise. Now her franchise is Resident Evil. Even though the scripts are bad, and I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, the scripts are pretty bad. She's an okay actress. She's an action star. That's fine. But those movies make money. That's why they're on Resident Evil 6 or whatever, 7. They make enough money.
Yeah. And another thing, I mean, I put this in the comments, and it's like nobody knows what I'm talking about. I would have picked a Bollywood actress. And Bollywood, because, okay, here's the thing. Bollywood, to me, their actresses look more like what I would think Wonder Woman would look like. And if you've seen the more popular ones, they have the look, they have the skin tone, they have everything. And a lot of them are really pretty. And they do like 50 movies a year. And, I mean, let's keep it real. Those Bollywood musicals come out like nobody's business.
Hotcakes. And can I just say that if you're going to go as... Okay. If you're going to go as... I'm just going to say it. I feel like... we're going to name this podcast Just Say It. So if you're going to go as low... as to cast her, Gal, for Wonder Woman, and I mean that as not as a true diss, but she's really nobody besides Fast and Furious, and besides being a model. Why wouldn't you go that route? I personally, when I thought of Wonder Woman, and I can't believe I didn't say this on the podcast, but every time I think of Wonder Woman, I've thought of Lucy Lawless.
Right.
But even though Lucy Lawless is older now, I think she's in her 40s, mid 40s. But if you're going for an older cast, Lucy Lawless, even though she is American and she's white, she has the look. She has the look.
Could totally do it.
She would be a perfect awesome. Older.
Yeah.
I don't want to say older.
She could be Hippolyta.
She could be.
Let's cast her for Hippolyta, everybody.
Because Lucy Lawless is a great actress. I think she's really cool.
That'd be awesome.
So Hippolyta would be a great choice. I mean, since you already cast Gal, that's fine. You want a young... clearly, they want a young Wonder Woman. That's fine. But yeah, I think Lucy Lawless needs to be somewhere in the Amazon. Somewhere. If you're going to do a Wonder Woman movie, you have to cast Lucy Lawless.
You know who else they need to cast?
Who?
Well, they should have cast, and I saw some comments about this, and I totally agree. Is that Catherine Zeta-Jones like 10 years ago could have did Wonder Woman.
She could have. Or she could be up for...
She could do Hippolyta too.
I was just about to say she could be up for the role Hippolyta too. Is it Hippolyta or Hippolyta?
Hippolyta.
Hippolyta. Because I'm like
hippo.
I'm like...
Hippo with a lighter.
Because I thought hepatitis, and I was like, no. That's what I was... When I said it, I was like, that sounds too much not good.
But yeah, Catherine Zeta-Jones and Lucy Lawless, they could definitely be. Now, what about that chick who's on Modern Family? What's her name?
Oh, no. I'm thinking of her.
You know her.
But,
y'all know who I'm talking about.
But do you want her to be... Do you want her... Well, she's very... her figure is very... blessed. I'm trying to say it right.
She could do it.
She could, but what about her accent? She can't do an American.
Well,
does she?
how many actors did you not know were British?
That's true. Sofia Vergara. Sofia Vergara.
Sophia Regard. She could do Wonder Woman. She's pretty. I'm sure they could train her on how to do the sword and whatnot.
Well, she was just in.
You know,
She was just in Machete. Machete
yeah,
Kills or
right.
whatever.
Exactly.
But
Exactly. And I don't think she's too old either.
is Wonder Woman loud? Sophia is very loud.
I know, but she's an actress. She don't have to be loud all the time.
So, Lana, don't downgrade Sofia Vergara
And
because she is whatever. So, okay, next subject. She can do it. She can do it. But as we say every time we criticize these castings for this movie, we're still going to be the first people to see it on Friday or Thursday night.
of course we are. I mean, as if I don't care. I don't care who they cast for Lex Luthor. I don't care who they cast for anything. It's not as if I'm not gonna go see the movie.
Right. So we'll see it, and of course, we'll have a spoiler, no spoiler of how we feel. Okay, so another thing that happened was that I saw this via Twitter, and I thought it was just a rumor, but it's true, that Bryan Singer, who is the director of the X-Men Days of Future Past, announced via Twitter that X-Men Apocalypse will be in 2016. They've announced a date, May 27th, 2016.
Do you even know? Okay, when I get excited, what I like to do is roll on the ground.
I usually hear you do that, but I usually buffer out when I'm editing the podcast. I usually buffer out that background noise.
It's like stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll.
But do you think this? I'm okay. So I love me some X-Men.
Yes.
But do you think this is too soon? I mean, the next movie hasn't even came out yet. It's not even the next year. I mean, it's not even the year for Days of Future Past.
I'm saying, let's roll with it. They have to do something. Okay, you've got Marvel, who has pretty much dominated superhero franchises. Okay. And then you've got DC with their weird kind of backwards approach to the Justice League, and I don't even know what they're doing. I think they're kind of a hot mess. It's almost like they're going too fast. They're not taking their time and developing these movies. We could have did another week. Honestly, we could have done another Man of Steel movie with just Superman and introducing Batman at the end, and then we could have, there's a buildup that's not happening. It's like DC is trying to throw in everything together. So they see them trying to rush. So Fox is like, we need to get on this bandwagon. We have the X-Men. We need to keep this going because there's been, X-Men 3, rest in peace. That was a hot mess. And then you had the first Wolverine. Okay, it's there. And then you had the second Wolverine, which was better, except for
it was good.
5 storylines. And then, so now them announcing Apocalypse, I'm like, do it.
I'm really excited because I just started, so I have Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah.
And I just started reading X-Force, primarily because X-23 is the main character.
Right.
But it's probably the most graphic comic I've ever read.
Really?
They're like assassin. I won't call them assassins, but they're like hunters. It's the main characters are Wolverine, X-23, Angel, Wolfsbane, and I forget the other guy. I've never heard of him, but it's them, and then Cyclops is like they're like the secret division of the X-Men. Even X-Men don't know about them, and
oh wow,
it's just really bloody. But I really loved the Age of Apocalypse because some people don't know this, but Wolverine was one of the 4 horsemen for Apocalypse.
Oh.
And Angel was one of the 4 horsemen, I think, as well. But I know that he has Apocalypse DNA inside of him. And he becomes this, like, crazed beast. Like, he becomes, Angel's just like a regular guy with really great wings. Mm-hmm. And when his DNA is activated, when Apocalypse did whatever he did to him, I don't know the exact story, but he turned him into, like, this warrior. And he's, like, all black, and he has all this armor, and his wings become, like, metal. And he just is a servant of Apocalypse. So, as I'm really getting into X-Force, and I've been flying through these comics, or flying through these issues, I'm learning more and more about Apocalypse, and I've been reading more about Angel and the Age of Apocalypse. And literally 2 days later, I see the tweet about Bryan Singer and Age of Apocalypse. I'm really, really excited. But the possibly sad news is that Hugh Jackman may not be returning as Wolverine.
He's going to come back as Wolverine. Again, I think it's the buzz, it's the controversy. And if he's under any type of negotiation, it could only work in his favor. They need to throw more money at him. It's not like he's going to say no.
Right, and about like even Robert Downey Jr. when it came to Iron Man 3, was it Iron Man 3 / Phase 2?
Yeah.
He wanted more money.
And
And
going to have to give it to him.
right, and they were like, "Well, we don't know. You know, it's up in the air. Is Robert Downey Jr. returning as Iron Man? He is Tony Stark.
Nobody else can come in and do that role. That's
No.
ridiculous. It's like
And
it's not even going to happen like that.
And Tony Stark has always been an older man. It's not like you need someone that's young and has vigor and can do all these stunts. All he needs to do is look good without the suit and stand inside the suit.
Right.
That's all he needs to do.
You know, so, and I mean, and I remember when those stories were coming out, I was like, whatever, you're going to do it. So, I mean, if it did turn out that Hugh Jackman was really serious and it's just like, I'm not going to do it, whoa, you know, wow, that would kind of suck, and I don't like that.
Why wouldn't he do it, though? Like you said, why wouldn't he do it?
You know what? People are weird.
You want to do another Les Mis?
Oh.
Because I'm pretty sure you can do all those all you want, but they ain't bringing home the bread and the butter that X-Men is. I don't know how much he's getting paid per X-Men film or however they're doing that contract, but I'm sure Les Mis paid him some millions. Okay, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Marvel is dropping big bucks for you.
Yeah.
So, including Iron Man. So I am very, very excited for Age of Apocalypse. There's nothing that's came out. It's just his tweet that just said X-Men, #X-Men, hashtag Apocalypse 2016.
Right. Yeah.
That's all his tweet said.
And I can't wait. Just like, you know, and back to what we were talking about with the trend. I'm just gonna start calling it the training movie, Superman, Woman, Batman, because that's what.
Yeah.
So, and they need for them to be all together. I mean, I hope they're not doing something dumb like fighting Toyman or something. If they're doing that, then I want to see Doomsday. You know, if they're gonna bring all of them together, I mean, I need to see something pretty major. Okay. From them as far as the villains department. I don't want to see, I'm so tired. I don't want to see any more stupid freaking Zod. I'm just tired of them regurgitating, you know, and then we're going to do Lex Luthor. Like, really? Because I guess we haven't seen that already.
But Doomsday is mainly Superman.
Yeah, but, well, it's Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Justice League has fought Doomsday. And I mean, if we really want to get into it, I mean, talking about Doomsday, Highfather, the Furies, there's like a whole universe out there that has never, ever been tapped into.
But I want to see Doomsday Superman. I don't want, because the first origin of Doomsday was when he basically killed Superman.
Yeah, I need that.
So that's what I want to see. I don't want to, then, you know, let's say, because I know like they didn't kill. I read up on Doomsday about 3 months ago, and I know that did they ever really kill Doomsday? They just kind of banished him to different universes, and he would always come back. Lex Luthor brought him back. I mean,
they sent him through this little box that, you know, it sends him out to his universe and stuff like that. I don't have my stuff in front of me, so of course I forgot the name. But you know, so, but he's out there with Highfather, and, you know, there's so many different other characters that we can pull from. You know, Lex Luthor, those aren't Superman's only enemies. They are not his only enemies. We could bring in Maxima. There's so many different characters that are just not being tapped because they want to go the safe route. They just want to do what's safe and what people know instead of taking a chance and really, really giving us something different. And it's annoying.
Well, I don't know. I know there's rumors of multiple villains in this. But I'm thinking my concern is if this is the Dark Knight Returns era where Batman and Superman face each other, how are you going to do Batman versus Superman versus villains with Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
I mean, like, how are you going to do all that? Because these movies are what, 2.5 hours, and that's fine. I don't mind seeing a 2.5 hour movie, but I don't want it to feel like you are trying to pack in every origin, meaning the origin of Batman, meaning Superman, the origin of, I'm using quotations, of Wonder Woman, and then also the origin of these villains, because you didn't bring up Lex Luthor in Man of Steel.
Right.
So you have to give him, if Lex Luthor is in this movie, more than likely he is, but if he is, you have to give him cyber origin, and you bring in another villain, you got to give him cyber origin, and you bring in Batman, it's a brand new Batman. So, by the way, I'm still complaining that the fact of the matter that Dark Knight Rises is not even code yet.
Uh,
And you already have, it's nothing against, I'm still, well, it is against Batfleck, but that movie is not even, what, 3 years old yet?
uh-uh.
But I mean, you can say the same thing for Spider-Man too. But
This is supposed to be, I mean, from what I've read, this is supposed to be the future. Like, this is supposed to be an older Batman and not necessarily Christian Bale's era when he finished it. So, this is supposed to be a bit in the future, and Batman's supposed to be a little bit older. So, I mean, I'm wondering, are they going to have Superman? See, they have Superman and Batman fight, and if they have Batman win, I will literally take my popcorn that I'm going to treat myself to when I see this movie, and you're going to see kernels hitting the screen because I'm so irritated with them making Superman into this big dumb ox who can't fight.
not Ox.
Ox who cannot fight, who's stupid, who doesn't know how to do anything but shoot his freaking laser beams and blow cold air on people. You know what? He can do. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm about to go. I'm gonna just cut it off. I'm cutting it off.
No, I'm just sitting here. Like, I literally have my chin resting on my hand, and I'm just listening to you.
Because I've said this before and it irritates me. And
Yeah.
I'm so scared the movie is going to be a stupid waste of time. But of course, I'm going to go see it. I'm going to go see it the day it comes out. I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to sit there bouncing in my seat as it comes on, as I can play my way up to the opening.
I'm trying to think. There was something I wanted to ask you. And we may have brought this up before, or I may have brought this up before in the podcast, but do you think, okay, I know it's supposed to be Batman and Superman, because this is what's, okay, so I feel like, well, obviously, Man of Steel is a standalone Superman movie.
Right.
And clearly, before the movie even, like, finished in the theater, they had already announced Batman versus Superman. Or Batman and Superman. Is it Batman and Superman or versus Superman?
I don't even know, honestly.
But Batman, Superman, let's say it that way. They had already announced it, so it comes off as like you don't have any confidence in Superman / you're rushing Justice League
Yeah.
/ well, back to you can't have any confidence in Superman because basically what I'm asking you, Lana, is are you nervous or pessimistic about Superman maintaining his lead role ship, and that Batman will kind of take over that?
That is my concern. That is my concern. I mean, we have a wildly successful Dark Knight franchise, which I loved. I thought the third movie was awesome. I thought
I loved it.
It out. I mean, all three movies I loved. I have no complaints, and it was awesome. Mm-hmm. And I'm scared that by bringing in Batman, we're going to take the spotlight away from what could be a really, really strong Superman series, as long as they let Henry Cavill say some lines and talk a little bit more, then I think we could have that, which is why I'm thinking they're also rushing the Wonder Woman angle. You know, and another little blurb that I read that I'm just praying that this doesn't happen is like the Bruce Timm animated version of the Justice League had Wonder Woman kind of chasing Batman as far as a love interest. If I see that.
Okay. When does this movie come out? Do we know?
I don't know. Next year.
Because I think. See, look, I'm typing in, right? And I type in Batman, Superman. See, it's already beginning.
Do you see?
Instead of Superman, Batman, I'm typing in.
You're brainwashed. They have brainwashed. I have to make myself say Superman, Batman on purpose. Because I'm brainwashed too.
So it comes out July 17th. Now, Comic-Con
right
is the week after.
Mm.
if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to look up really quick SDCC 2014 date. Um, July 24th.
Uh-huh.
So that's the week after. Darn it. Because I
July
was like, I could
24th?
just,
Yeah, it is the week after.
because like I could just fly out there early,
I know, right?
and just see the movie with you and hold your hand because I feel like I really should be holding your hand
You
during this
know
movie.
what? I'm gonna need support.
Or we'll just have to see it at the same time,
I
you
I
know.
I am. I'm, you know, I don't.
Okay, so what? Okay, I know yesterday was the video game awards, and we didn't miss anything. I don't know why I brought that up, but they had like some stuff for Destiny,
Uh-huh.
and they had a new trailer, a new gorgeous trailer for Destiny, and that's all I have for gaming. I mean, nothing else seemed really that cool. I mean, they
Nothing
had like
else
a
is really, yeah.
I mean, like Nintendo was there, and they announced like this new Donkey Kong game, but it was extremely awkward. The president of Nintendo, who was he the VP or president? I can't remember, but he's just really weird to me as a president that talks weirdly. Um, and they had like what is it? Oh, you Titanfall. They had a new trailer for Titanfall, which looked really
Yeah.
cool. Um, other than that, I know they're doing the Walking Dead. The people that do the Walking Dead game
Yeah.
are developing a Game of Thrones game.
Yes, and I think that could be interesting. I really want to see what this is going to look like. So I'm going to get the Walking Dead Game of the Year edition. Hopefully, all the 360 glitches that were so prevalent in the other disc were because the game was so glitchy, it wasn't even working in a lot of
I
systems.
I bought the first episode when it came out, and I loved it. I mean, one shout out for being the leading character being black. I love that. And it was very emotionally driven. It was very emotionally to me more emotionally driven than The Walking Dead. Which, by the way, since we're talking about Walking Dead, I'm sorry, I'm just blowing dust off my table because
I
I don't know how to talk about it.
I don't really I don't know how. Okay, first of all, in watching Talking Dead, I love their in memoriam little pieces that Chris Hardwick does. I
Yes,
think it's
the different zombies and
hysterical, the different zombies. And, we've got and this is spoilers. If you haven't seen it, dude, that's your bad right now.
right.
Um,
Skip ahead like 7 minutes, but sorry,
right.
it's
Yeah, we're going
been
to
a
talk
week.
about this. So the death of Herschel was hard. And the way they did it, though, was interesting.
So angry, and then he kept doing it.
Yeah, he didn't just like leave his head. He hacked his head off. And the thing that I thought was interesting was the look of complete peace that was over Herschel's face. I think in that moment he was really, really proud of Rick, like a father would be,
Mm-hmm.
listening to him, trying to reason with people. And I saw the pride on his face right before the governor hacked his head off. And so that, I'm gonna really miss Herschel because I like the fact that we had somebody who was older, who was kind of like the father figure of so many members of the group and was just so wise and had so much knowledge.
And we don't, yeah, because there's no one else like that. I can't remember in the graphic novel if Herschel is dead at this time
Mhm.
or before. I want to say he is. Like he did pass before this incident. I can't remember, but I was really caught off guard. Like I knew somebody was going to die in that episode. I knew the governor was going to die,
Mhm.
but just and can I just say, I just love that Michonne did it.
It was the only thing that could have happened. To me, it was the only way
True closure.
to do it right. I mean, he was going to kill Rick. Rick was going to die.
Rick was done. You
And
see his face?
his face, she took her katana, and all you saw was that blade.
It looked real to me.
Look real to me.
That blade look. I feel like he really had that blade go through his life.
But when I'm gonna dub them Carol's girls, everybody will know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
Carol's girls, when she pulled out that gun, and when she was like, she went all kind of gangster. She was like, pointed that gun and pulled the trigger, and didn't so much as flinch.
And she said, "Yeah, let's go." And Tyrese was like, "What? Where y'all going? Like,
Right,
don't
right.
leave me. I was about to die."
And when that little girl got her neck all bit up by the zombie that was hiding in the mud,
I felt so bad.
that was like, what?
But I have one complaint about the mother slash the governor's girlfriend, whatever.
Right, his side piece.
His
Yeah,
yes, his side piece.
yeah,
Can
basically.
I just say is that Maggie's sister?
Why did she look so much like Maggie?
Like when y'all were casting, okay, clearly she was the best. I'm assuming when y'all casted that role, but y'all couldn't cast anybody else because every scene she was in, I'm like, is that Maggie?
I know, right?
I'm like, why is Maggie like messing with the governor? Or why is Maggie in this scene? I just didn't. It just seemed okay. The governor's logic is his logic, but my complaint is in a dystopia like that
Mm-hmm.
or apocalyptic world, whatever you want to claim it as. It makes no sense for another group to take over and kick out another group that did nothing to you.
Yeah.
Like, how did he? I just didn't understand how he manipulated them so well in such a short amount of time. Literally, he kills those guys, comes in, takes over, gives a 2-minute speech, and all of a sudden they are bringing a tank to a prison.
Right.
And it's not about let's do it together and then things go south from there. It's about we want to take it and y'all have kids, we don't care. Y'all have old people, we don't care. Get out. It just seems a little. It seemed a little forced to me. Like, I'm glad the governor's gone, whatever. There's always a new villain behind that. But it just seemed really forced. And I want my Carol back.
You know what? I think we're gonna run into Carol again. I'm kind of okay that she's not around right now. I think I'm really surprised that Daryl. I think Daryl couldn't really argue with Rick's logic
He
because
couldn't. He was just angry. He was just mad.
he was definitely angry and he was definitely hurt. But but Rick doesn't have the luxury of being like, oh, I'm in love and I just want this person with me. He can't. He has to think about everybody. He has to
Right.
think about his little baby daughter. Which, oh my gosh, the blood in the car seat. Was she eaten by zombies like her mama? And
You know she wasn't eaten by zombies. You know them those little girls, some little soldiers took that
by
baby and ran. And by now,
soldiers.
when February shows up, those little girls are gonna have their own little village. They're gonna have a little campsite that's gonna look like the town that the governor was running, and
Exactly.
it's gonna be ran by these 12-year-olds.
Exactly. And they're gonna be the most organized out of everybody.
That's what I feel like, and I feel like Tyrese is gonna be like their arm, like their what do you call it? Their
Sergeant at arms.
yeah, they're like head soldier or general or whatever. Like I feel like it's gonna be like Game of Thrones meets Walking Dead, and
Right.
it's so I am excited. I saw your comment about it's just February is not here yet, and I'm just not happy. And
Yeah.
I I feel like it ended well. Of course, it returns in February. We're all upset about that, but I think it ended for a mid-season finale was pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm glad that we're out. Can I just say I was really tired of that prison and I'm glad we're out of the prison. I'm glad we're back on the road and I'm excited to see what and who they're going to encounter. I want to see some more people. I'm curious as to what the government is going to do. And like we talked about our last episode, I'd love to see a prequel. I want to see what led up to all this. I'm so in, so many shows like, Breaking Bad is doing something with Saul. I'm not 200% super interested in that.
At all.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to be nice, but yeah, at all. Like
I do like Saw. I mean, but just like I don't.
I don't
That's
really
it.
need him on the show. Like I don't care.
Mm.
But a prequel for Walking Dead, I'm all over that. I would love to see what led up to, this virus that started attacking people.
Well,
And
can I say that I just lost my train of thought? Darn it, I forgot. Whatever.
Okay, well, have you? And I am gonna go on AMC and watch those webisodes that they have.
Oh, I haven't watched them yet. Thank you for reminding me. I want to watch them because now that there's no Walking Dead to watch, I can just
Yeah,
watch those
might as
instead.
well watch the webisodes. Yeah,
Well, other show that came on was that okay? Okay, Scandal. Let's just whatever.
we need to do that right now.
Was that the mid season finale?
No, we have part two of the finale Thursday. Now, part two of a winter finale. How come for any other network show that's somebody else's season finale?
That I must skip to the end when
Skip to the end.
the chick I don't like. What's her name?
And her name like Sally.
No, not. Oh, I love Sally. But no, not that part. But before that, what's her name? That is a double agent now for teams for Gladiators.
Oh, Quinn.
Quinn. God, I cannot stand her. And the whole time I was thinking, why is she still alive? I want. This is really bad. But I want her dead. I don't want her on that show
Oh
anymore.
my gosh.
I have never received so much emotional pleasure from this show when as I did when Huck give a little or take a little, give a little, take a little,
Oh,
give a little.
we saw all kind of crazy, didn't we?
Woo, and she was like, he hurt me. Ugh. And that was and okay. I know we're bounced all over from the show, but I just have to bring up one subject, and then we can start from the beginning of this episode.
Okay.
Why does every woman
Yeah.
Shonda's doing this, and I'm trying to put this in the right words, but Shonda's been doing this lately, and I'm just not feeling it. First with Melly, and now with Quinn.
Okay.
Why does every woman have to be like broken, and then before they can be like strong? Like
Uh,
why can't you just come out the gate and be strong? Because Melly, before that episode with her father-in-law,
yeah.
was this powerful. Yet she is broken, meaning she loves her husband, but he obviously loves someone else. But that's a relationship thing, not a personal thing. I think.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we all want to know people's origins, but it's like, why does she have to be raped and raped by her father-in-law for her? Because she was kind of, she was a lawyer, but she was kind of like the back burner, and it took her getting, abused sexually for her to become this manipulator, this powerful woman. And
Yeah.
then Quinn is like, oh my God, Huck hurt me, takes off clothes, make love to me.
Right.
Wasn't your
He was the only one I had.
he learned what I had, and oh, make love to me. Oh, my molars are gone, and they were ripped out, and they hurt. But oh, let's have sex because that'll make me feel better.
Or even whore herself out. And the reason that I'm going to say that is because remember towards the end, we got a little flashback of her trying to convince Huck what she could do and give him. Remember when she says, I can give you information, I can do better than that, I can give you a person?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was a setup. Her seducing him like that was a setup so she could get in to see command so she could kill him. So all of that was her trying to garner sympathy from that
Right.
dude. She still bothers me, just to put that out there. But I
I,
think that's what they were trying to do. And when Huck
yeah.
licked the side of her face, I just wanted to be like, Huck, does it taste like chicken? Like, because he was getting way too much enjoyment out of that.
I could not. Okay, so obviously, let's go to the beginning. So this picks up with Quinn duct taped.
Right.
And Huck is in his element. He is just like, I am here. Well, there's two things. It starts with him in his element, and it starts with Olivia in a corner, or looking behind a door, calling Huck, talking about, I need you to come here because this woman is here, and she's my mother, and I don't know what to do. And we truly see Olivia in, like, the weakest she's ever been.
Right.
Like, ever. And, we've seen her, broken, meaning, when it comes to fits, but this is like personal.
It's on another level.
It's on another level, and no one knows what to do. I love Abby. I love Abby.
Me too.
I've always loved Abby, but I feel like she doesn't talk enough in this show, and I really would love her to talk more. But when she does, I feel like she always has she has some of the best lines.
Mm-hmm.
But this is very season finale-esque because you have Huck and Quinn, you have Cyrus and his husband, which, oh my God.
Oh, can we just pause real quick?
Yes.
Oh, whoa.
But what do you expect, right? Because it's like speaking of whoring out somebody, you hoard out your husband.
Your husband.
You hoard out your husband, and then when it comes out that he actually slept with the guy, you are distraught about it and you're crying about it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, what is?
What?
And this is the same guy. This is the same guy. That's the same distraught man that had to decide if he was going to kill his husband or have his husband assassinated or not.
He absolutely uses James as his patsy. Like that is his I am going to do whatever I need to do. And the way he lied to him on the phone, she's never going to see these photos. Can you I'm just like he just lies like he cannot stop lying. It's what he does.
But and side note, congratulations to James. Bukatex, I can't say his last name. He just won an Emmy for this role.
He did?
Yeah, he won a primetime Emmy for his role as James in Scandal.
Are the Emmys on tonight?
Not say just not just, but like a few whenever the Emmys were a
I
few
didn't
months
even
ago.
realize that. I don't know if okay, well congrats to him for that. That's good.
Is it Dan Bukatex? Dan, I must look him up. Dan
Buk-
yeah, Bukatinsky. Dan Bukatinsky.
I like mine better.
Right. He won an Emmy. Yeah, he won an Emmy in September for his role as guest actor. And it's not on the actual Emmys that it's like the whatever performance Emmys that are like a week before that are not they're
Oh,
never on air.
oh.
Like you don't see them like on TV at all. The week before the actual Emmys are.
Yeah.
But he won for his role, and I'm thinking he is a really, and I'm not taking anything away from him. I think he's a really great actress. He's a really great actor.
Uh-huh.
I wish his role was more expanded instead of just being like in the shadow of Cyrus. But I feel like with this happening, especially with this whole manipulation thing, that's going to really expand.
I think
because now,
we're getting
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah.
and oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say about Harrison.
Yeah. Okay.
There's too many things. I feel like going forward, when we talk about Scandal, we need to like create bullet points.
I know.
I don't really care, but I feel like as a listener, you're probably like, wait, like what's happening? But if you already watched the show, you know what's going down. Harrison and that chick she's really, really gorgeous.
I was like, what?
And she was like, oh, what's his name is in town and says hi.
He says hi. And he was like, he's in town. So he got all panicked. So I think we're gonna have some stuff going down with Harrison pretty soon. So I'm interested, and it's gonna be crazy. We know it's gonna be crazy, but how is everything gonna play out? Because we're getting fewer episodes this season because Kerry Washington got pregnant. Congratulations! But what's gonna happen to the show?
Okay, I'm so glad you brought that up. Okay, woo, Lana. Okay, so I was on Tumblr, and
Yeah.
I may follow Scandal, like fan fiction stuff on Tumblr. Anyway, and I tried to, because they have some of the best GIFs I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And whoever made the GIF or GIF, however you say it, of Cyrus crying, oh my god, it's so funny. Because this is like him standing there and he just bursts out in tears. Okay, wait, really quick, before we get into this pregnancy thing, shout out to the actor of the night, goes out to Mellie Grant. Because when she was in the Oval Office, or wherever she was with Cyrus, and Cyrus broke down crying, she goes, I'm just going to give you a minute.
Oh, okay.
But it was the way her face, she was like, oh,
like,
yep, he did it.
Like, I hope I'm not expected to touch him. Did you see how she put her hand up and then she put it back down and then she walked away? She's like, all this emotion, this is uncomfortable for me.
Right.
And walked to the door. And then she gave him that speech.
Oh. I said,
oh my God.
This is why I hate to love you. She is one of my favorite actresses and one of my favorite characters because I truly hate her as Mellie, but I truly love her as Mellie because she is, whoever writes her lines,
oh my God,
is always on point. And it's just like she is either reading you or she's giving you the best advice.
I know. And just telling you to she was just basically like, man up and stop crying. She was like, this is life. This is how it rolls. This is what happens.
And what did she say? Play the cards or whatever? Like, just see it through. Just see it through.
She just said, see it through, like, suck it up. See it through. Oh my gosh. And so, what did he do? He wiped his snot.
Yeah, he did. He can cry. That's a good crier.
Oh,
And it's an ugly crier. He's an ugly crier.
oh, he got the ugly cry. He was all heartbroken. He was like, "It's for the
Oh,
divorce," because then the president went up to him and basically ran him all up and down and left him in there. I was like,
well. And then Melly was like, now what?
"Yeah."
Now what, Cyrus? Three, two, one. And she was like, and then she put her hand up like on the wall, like,
Yeah.
look,
Like,
look.
I don't have time for this.
You can't cry to me like I haven't been there for the past
Right.
10 years. So no, back to okay. So this is what I read via Tumblr, and I didn't pay attention. I didn't know that she was pregnant. That when Olivia calls Grant, or when Fitz calls her, I can't remember who calls who. And she's outside the. Oh yeah, she calls him outside the hotel, and she's like, she just wants to call and say hi, and he's like, "You're calling me because you don't know what to do." Great conversation per usual, but then when she gets into, I'm just thinking about Vermont and kids and all this stuff. Someone on Tumblr was like, "Was she talking like a pregnant woman?" And they like their logic was really good. I wish I could find it again, but it was really good logic. Like it's definitely gonna be written in that she's pregnant.
You think so?
I
Because
think so because most people, most shows nowadays, like post 2000, I think before then, like pregnancy. If you were pregnant, they just kind of hid it. But
Mhm.
even like what's her name from Skylar, she was pregnant,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they wrote that in.
yeah.
So nowadays it's just another opportunity. Like, and Shonda, she can't hide it, so she has to acknowledge it. So it's like, okay, she's pregnant, but who's the father? Is it Jake or is it Fitz?
Right, because she don't know who the baby daddy is, and then she's gonna be on Maury Povich, and it's gonna be, "You are not the father," and
And Melly's gonna walk. She's gonna walk in. She's gonna end up being in the same room with Melly one day, and Melly's gonna see her stomach, and it's gonna be like,
is she
I
even
wish
gonna?
you could see my face right now. Like, you. Like, I know y'all sleeping together, and I'm okay with that because it's getting us votes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you got her pregnant. Vermont, but the thing is, that episode was called "Vermont is for Lovers" too. That one where
Yeah.
they were in Vermont, and I feel like that statement alone is saying, they had sex all night. She's pregnant.
And she's preggers, and so I'm wondering, because because they shoot and then they're done shooting and we're still watching several episodes. So with them cutting about three, like ABC, they just cut 3 episodes from the order. They're like, so I'm not sure what their plan is, but I'm definitely interested to see. I'm interested to see what's going to happen next week. And when Olivia said that last line of, "Oh my gosh, my father was trying to protect me all along," and she didn't got her boo thing to put her mama on a plane and
Right?
send her off into parts unknowns in Hong Kong,
What does that mean?
you know, and then they were like, "Uh oh, we have a problem," as if, and they basically had made the decision to kill Olivia's father.
But something's gonna happen. He's gonna end up dead.
Something's gonna happen.
But it's like this. What does Quinn's handler know what she's doing?
I don't think so. You saw she pulled out because Quinn, she's two cans short of a 6 pack at this point, and so
Wow.
she just brought out that little needle out of her pocket.
Wow. And she popped that cap off that needle so fast.
She did it really fast. But you know what I want to happen? I want her to stab him in the hand, and I want him to stand up and say, "Do you think after all this time and all the people and all the enemies I have that I haven't built up a tolerance to these poison or something?" I want him to be like all kind of like cyborg, superhuman to where she can't kill him.
And then she dies.
And then she dies.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's the end of Quinn because I'm done with her. I am done with her. Although I like the actress, I cannot stand that character. She's stupid. She's just dumb.
Right.
And when she was like, "Huck, it's not my fault. I swear it's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong." And he ripped that tooth out. I was like, I want to see it. I want this to be filmed. I want to see the tooth come. Okay, that's graphic. I'm going graphic. But you know what I mean. I just want everything to happen. And I'm like, she has a tracking device in her, or did he track her physically, or did he track her phone?
Uh,
Her handler, whatever his name is.
I think the phone.
Okay. Because I'm like, she has a tracker in her too. Like, come on, like they ain't playing. B6, but see, B16. So clearly, Jake. I feel like so Jake and Fitz had that argument. I feel like Fitz is going to come back to Jake, and they're going to team up. I don't think that her father's going to die yet. I think that for somehow Fitz is going to get involved, and that's how he's going to exit the show.
Oh.
I think this is just like a teaser.
Well, I know because I did watch live because I had to. So I'll
Yep.
be watching live again on Thursday, and yeah, I'm I simply can't wait. And I have to mention next week, and jumping to movies real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, The Hobbit comes out. The Desolation of Smog. I don't care. I
Yes.
just want to say smog, like LA smog. I know.
I cannot wait to see that movie.
And I want to see it because there's a dragon.
And it's Benedict Cumberbatch from Sherlock.
Yeah,
Plays
he plays the dragon.
voices Smog, and I'm really excited because Benedict actually he does the voice of Smog, and he's the body of the Shadow.
Oh, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I can't wait to see this. So,
But I'm an arachnophobe, so that spider scene I'm not looking forward to.
see, I haven't seen any trailers. I have stayed away except for when, I went to go see Thor. But I've not seen any extra footage other than the trailer I saw in the movie.
Well, we'll be seeing it next week, and we'll definitely talk about it. It's 3 hours of my life that I will gladly give up for this
Yeah, I'll
movie.
just care, take it.
My dad built a tradition on these movies, even though we haven't seen the Hobbits, I should say plural, together. But we went and saw all 3 of the Lord of the Rings on their opening nights, and he fell asleep in every movie.
Stop it.
And this could be my blast in the plast. My
Blast from the past.
Thank you.
And look at me, blast.
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 And it's cool because like my dad, he wanted to see the movies, and I was like, this was kind of dry. And I thought the Fellowship of the Ring was actually my favorite, which was the first one. Even though it was the driest or the most. I'm a huge action-packed person, and it wasn't really action-packed at all. But I don't know. It was just something about the writing, the story, the driving of the characters, and the development of the characters. Mm-hmm. But the thing that is really kind of special is because my father used to go opening night every year, and he would fall asleep in every movie.
That is so funny.
And I would sit there and be like, these movies are so good. At the end, I'm like, Dad, get up. It's time to go. And I'm like, he was like, do you like it? I'm like, yeah. Did you like it? I know he was asleep. And I'm like, did you like it? He's like, yeah, it was all right.
Oh.
And we haven't talked about it. Like, I've never like, do you even remember those movies? Which he doesn't. But I loved Lord of the Rings, all 3 of them, and I really did enjoy The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And I really am looking forward to obviously the second one because that scene with Bilbo and Smaug looks epic.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. So are you doing well? Look, me and you, we got jobs on Friday. I'm not doing a midnight showing I'm not doing that. So
I haven't done a midnight showing in God knows how long since probably I started working full time.
Right.
I know Sean does them.
I know some of our friends are going to do it. I'm thinking that
it's 3 hours.
Yeah, I think our Nerd Truth buddies are going to. I'm pretty sure they're doing a midnight. I know Kim is doing a midnight, the Nerd Element, and so they are. Yeah, and I'm just. Well, I don't know if she's doing midnight or not, but I just I can't. I'm so old.
Who are you telling? I will gladly go see it tomorrow. I will gladly go see it Friday night, though.
Right, I'll go see it Friday after work.
And once I have a double shot, I'll go see it. But
right, bring in a Starbucks and make sure I'm up.
Right, but I'm not going to. No, I'm not seeing it before that. So no, we'll gladly talk about it Saturday. But that's it.
Yeah,
I'm good. So what else do we got? We have anything else, or is that it? Should we wrap it up?
I think we ought to wrap it up. And I'm feeling good though. I feel like a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders.
We talked yesterday, and it was pretty heated in a positive way. But it's about some things that we can't talk about on the podcast,
basically.
And some things that we do talk about on the podcast, like when it comes to Wonder Woman and stuff. So yeah. I am feeling a flame. And I'll leave it at that. So again, thanks a lot, guys. Lana, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, for listening to this podcast. Was this? This wasn't really random, was it? It's just a lot.
It was just a lot. It was the conversation. That's what it was.
That's what it was. So guys, please continue. Shout out to our newest review on iTunes. Someone reviewed us on iTunes and gave us really great feedback. They jumped in on the Scandal episode.
Okay.
And which was like episode 7 or 8. And they were like, I've been hooked ever since. And I'm like, thank you so much. I don't know who you are, but if you listen to this podcast, you know who you are. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate any type of review, any type of constructive criticism. We look forward to that. So please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Blerd Nerd. Yes, and YouTube. Like us on, follow, subscribe to us on YouTube as well, and continue to spread the nerd. Again, shout out to and rest in peace to Paul Walker and especially Nelson Mandela for being our Blerd of the Week and Blerd of the Generation.
Yes.
A great man and a great legacy, and hopefully Lana and myself can just have a small piece of his greatness in our lives.
A teeny tiny little speck.
Yes, and we will hit you guys up on the next one, all right? Bye, guys.
Bye.